campus and Tuitions Bangalore, and welcome to the first ever virtual tour here at IFIM campus. And we really hope that you are safe and secure back at your homes.
Since you guys could not be here physically for the IFIM experience, here we bring to you the campus and the virtual tour of the campus. So
Hey, I am Nishad PB. I did my BCA from IFIM College. I was part of the 2015-18 batch. My years at IFIM were one of the most valuable and memorable. Gained a plateau of skills and friends who continue to be in my life and aid in my growth and progress. My mentors in the field of computer applications and their teachings is what inspired me to be a software engineer. I'd really like to go back to college and relive those years. They were some of the happiest in my life. My note to anyone who's new to IFIM is it's a great place to make good friends, find a career path, acquire skills for that career path, and then most of all, learn life lessons worth a lifetime. Thank you. Hey, I am Nishad PB.
Hey everyone, I am Prabodh Mishra, the General Secretary of IFIM Institutions for the academic year 2021. And I am currently pursuing my Bachelor's in Business Administration at the IFIM College. Handling the rigorous curriculum at IFIM and still managing to tap on various co-curricular and extracurricular activities has enabled me to adapt, adopt and adjust to various circumstances, manage my time more effectively and build resourceful networks. IFIM has made me realize that there is always more to oneself. It has provided me with plethora of opportunities to lead from front, opportunities to test, explore and enhance my personality, and mark my words when I say that the students here at IFIM are tailored to become successful management leaders. Hello everyone, I am Prabodh Mishra. Adaptability and adaptability are key to success in such unfortunate events, and the leaders at IFIM have eminently succeeded at it by swiftly shifting us towards the virtual learning platform and providing us with the regular online classes, proctored examinations, presentations and plethora of other extracurricular and co-curricular activities. This has kept us with an ace of changing work environment in the management sector, for which I am grateful and thankful to each and every member of this decorated institution for their unconditional support, guidance and encouragement in such tough times for our society. Thank you. Hello everyone.
Hello, my name is Somthi from Laos. I'm doing BA second year third semester in IFIM College. So I really appreciate to this course because the subject gives us so many things. Few years we had studied so many things in college, such as job skills and life skills. It could be to study how to manage the time, how to manage the money, or how to manage the stressful situation when we face the problem also. So lastly, it also opened my eye to see the global and improve my communication skills. So these things to make me very proud of this course. Thank you.
I remember JP Morgan saying, the first step towards getting somewhere is to decide you're not going to stay where you are. And you, my dear friends, have taken your first step. I believe these lines truly depict the circumstance of every student here. It takes enormous courage to choose a path and stick with it. Not everyone is brave enough to stray away from the path and come back with a final decision and goal in a mind. A commendment to each and everyone over here looking to start the next chapters of your life. A warm good morning to one and all present over here. On behalf of IFIM, I'm delighted to offer you all a gracious welcome. Spending 3 years in this amazing institution, I can guarantee you one thing: this journey will be full of surprises. In these 2 years of your MBA, you will learn how to grow, work under extreme pressure, and even at times fail. But I can guarantee you that each time you get up, you will be stronger. For the past 25 years, IFIM has been the guiding light in the lives of many students. Light symbolizes brightness and prosperity. It removes the force of darkness and gives us positivity. In spiritual word, light means life. So we can also think of light as giving us a new direction in life. With this noble thought, let us start this beautiful morning by lighting the lamp. I now request Chief Guest Mr. Ashish Mishra, Founder and Manager Director, Vikalp Ahead Renewable Private Limited, along with our Principal, Mr. Venkaya, Ms. Swarnika Dixit, Chairperson, Admissions and Management, Dr. Ramu, and Mr. Pramod, Director Admissions, to come forward and light the lamp. Vishwanath. May I now request our Chief Guest and Principal Sir to take their seats on the stage. Every important moment needs a starting point of welcome. To do, I request Ms. Swarnika Dixit, Chairperson, Management and Admissions, to kindly welcome the audience.
The flags are flying high. The balloons are ready for release. It's a great day one we've been planning and waiting for. I'm sure you'll concur. Good morning, all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome each and everyone gathered here for the inauguration ceremony of the IFIM College PG Batch 2021. IFIM College was set up in 2009 and has been affiliated to Bangalore University. It is accredited by NAAC with A grade and has been accorded fresh autonomous status in 2020 for a period of 10 years. It offers education which has focused on multi-pronged development of the students ever since it was established. Being student-centric, the college fosters an atmosphere of intellectual vigor and moral rectitude for fulfillment and achieve greatness as eminent citizens. With its campus strategically placed in the electronic city of Bangalore, one of India's largest IT industrial parks, IFIM College bridges the gap between the classroom learning and industrial needs to achieve continuously employable professionals. The college has a strong history of social face and employment skills with flagship programs with its academic curriculum. They include personality enhancement program, social immersion program, industry internship program, research incubation, and corporate mentoring. Dear all, let me take this opportunity to welcome each and everyone for the occasion. First and foremost, I would like to welcome the management team. Various innovative initiatives has helped the institute achieve its mission of nurturing holistic, socially responsible, and continuously employable professionals. Next, I welcome the pillar of IFIM College, our principal, Dr. Vishwanath Iyer, who has always ensured quality education for the students and their holistic development by introducing a number of industry-oriented certification programs and a plethora of co-curricular activities and events. A very warm welcome to you, sir. We are privileged and honored to have with us our distinguished chief guest for the occasion, Mr. Ashish Mishra, founder and managing director, Vikalp Ahead Renewables Private Limited. In an illustrious career, Mr. Ashish Mishra served for almost 2 decades at senior management position as functional head, Wood Resource Management, Aditya Birla Group. Now, I request our principal to felicitate the chief guest with a token of appreciation. Very warm welcome to you, sir. I would also like to welcome Mr. Pramod Tiwari, Associate Director, Admissions, IFIM College. A very warm welcome to you, sir. I would also like to welcome the faculty, staff, and student volunteers who joined here for the occasion. Finally, I extend a very warm welcome to the students of MBA Batch 2021. Dear students, given the current circumstances, we will ensure that we work together to maintain health and safety standards while sustaining the academic excellence and personalized attention that is synonymous with IFIM College education. So students, fasten up your shoelaces, buckle up your bells for the journey ahead, because the best part of your life is waiting for you. Wishing you luck with your dreams, work hard and live your dreams. Thank you. All the best, new batch.
Thank you, ma'am, for the warm welcome. A pessimist complains about the wind, an optimist tries to change it, and a leader adjusts the sail. The sail for this particular notion was adjusted by a person who is not only a great motivation to all, but a visionary, and the person who gave us the belief that anything is possible. He is none other than our principal, Dr. Vishwanath Thaya. Sir, I kindly request you to address the gathering.
The chief guest of the day, Ashish Mishra, Associate Dean Admissions, Pramod Tiwari, Dean Research, Dr. Mahadev, program chairs, my faculty colleagues, senior students, and the new batch of the students, and the entire admission team here. And the students who are online, because most of them prefer to be online. And I want to thank you all because you are here to experience something which they miss really from tomorrow onwards. So because certain times in life, we need to be choosy. At times when you're going to opt or select, it so happens you may be in dilemma. But always, at least being practicing managers in future, you must start taking a risk, but assess before taking the risk. So I think most of you done that and happy to see you all here. Okay. But saying this, just let me tell you about the institution. As Professor Sanika said, we are just 10 years old. In 10 years, if you look at the achievements of the institution, is immense. It's just because of the team and the commitment and the vision of the management. So I wish to take this opportunity to convey the greetings from the Chairman Sanjay Pododi to all of you, to welcome to this IFM family. So we always say that it's a family. So in family, what happens? Something good, something bad happens, but end of it, we are together. We have to be together forever. Now, being in the institution, being even after the institution, become alma mater. It's your alma mater. You are going to be there forever with the institution. That's why we call it as IFM family. So welcoming you to the family, let me tell you about the methodology what to adopt. Because now we are in the 21st century, we are already seeing the crisis. One of the unvisioned crisis the world is facing today, not only India alone. If you look globally, we are all facing a lot of uncertainties everywhere. Look at the job market, look up anything everywhere. Despite our GDP is strong. Why? You look at it, because we have many things to say, but that you learn when you are in the course. I'll not go to the details yet. But then we thought that how we can have a curriculum that can visualize our mission. As Professor Sanika mentioned, our mission of the institution is to nurture holistic, socially responsible, and continuously employable professionals. So holistic is the primary. Need to be socially responsible, it's a must. And how I can equip myself to be continuously employable. Employable doesn't mean the job. I can be an entrepreneur, I can be an entrepreneur, whatever it can be. That means, how can I position myself? How can we be a product of everybody's choice, not done by unique choice? So saying that, then I thought, let me just give a brief 4 years fundamentals, which primarily aligned with our curriculum so that our mission has been encashed. So one of the E's, we believe that how to engage the students. So our curriculum is well drafted so that engaging. How can we engage? Rather than just explaining the concepts, just confining to the textbooks or the curriculum, because we are affiliated to the university, we have certain constraints on going beyond the university curriculum. Even that barrier is taken away for your batch. You are the very first batch in IFM College as an autonomous batch. So we have now IFM College is an autonomous college. Prior to that, the university has to control our curriculum and also even evaluation. So both have been taken away from them now to us. So IFM College is autonomous. We have completed the entire process of autonomous in 2020 October. We got the autonomous status from the UGC for a period of 10 years. Generally, they give for 4+2. So, but we got 10 years straight. That it will speak how process and oriented we are and how very clear about our vision and mission in the field of education. So first year I'm talking about engaging. So we decide our curriculum is framed in such a way that how to engage you throughout your learning process of 2 years. So engagement doesn't enough if I'm not allowing you to explore. You have to explore. So when you're going for exploring things, when you do exploring, generally as an individual, I go for exploration only when I think that this seems to be very purposeful to me to meet my goals or to the society goals, whatever it is. So you may get inspiration anywhere. It may be the classroom, it may be the friends, it may be anywhere where you go. So we have one of the very core intervention called as social immersion program, where you'll be going to a remote community through an NGO. You'll be staying in the community for 15 days to understand the socio-economic problems there, and you come out and you make a presentation of your observations. So that's how we are connected to the society. We are making you to socially responsible. So you explore. When you come back, you may explore, or we have one more intervention called as research incubation, where you are going to be with a faculty mentor doing your own research paper published in Scopus Index Journal, not less than that. It doesn't, not easy to publish. You can present in a conference, you can present in a international conference or seminars, but publishing in a Scopus Index Journal is not that easy. In a matter of 2 years, you all will be doing, because we want to get you to research oriented, because when you go for research, then only you go for exploring things. You go for exploring the problems, and that will give you, we have proved it in the areas that definitely enhancing your problem solving techniques. Critical thinking abilities will enhance by that. So this what is one of the other I talk about exploring. Engaging and exploring will definitely give you a strength of explaining things, explaining the things the way you want. Because I don't want students to sit in the classroom just say what faculty says, yes, boss policy. No, I want you to be debatable in the class. When you can explain things, when you understood it well, when you explored it well, and when you have been, the way you understood, the way you educated yourself will definitely allow you to explain your opinions, put it across your thoughts. That's when the real learning happens in the classroom. That means primarily, if you look at our entire curriculum, we decided and we committed ourselves to move from learner-centric approach to, it is actually now teacher-centric approach so far. But we want to shift it to learner-centric approach, where the learner play a vital role in learning process than the teacher. So that is where our curriculum is aligned. And so if these three is, if you are no, and the last one is the evaluate yourself, you have to timely evaluate yourself. Don't sit quiet that after 2 years, let me see where I am, rather than every day, every moment you have to evaluate yourself, where you are, what you are doing. So our curriculum is such a way that you will be evaluated everywhere on your own, and even the faculty. The peer will also evaluate you, and you evaluate yourself. Your entire curriculum moves around these 4 E's. We allow you to engage yourself throughout the learning process, and there is a larger scope for exploring things, and there is a scope for explaining. End of it, there is evaluation. If these 4 E's have been taken in the entire learning cycle, I hope our mission is met. You will be holistic developed. You are continuously employable. At the same time, you are socially responsible. That's what the today's society needs. So in short, I said, what is your life is going to be next 2 years in the campus. And more so, finally, I want to close it by saying one thing. We are now, tomorrow onwards, your foundation is on. End of the day, you get the curriculum, the program, everything is done for next 2 months, session by session. It's a really hands-on experience to you all. I want to tell the people who are on the online, see if you can come and join, at least in a day or two, please come and join with the people and have that experience, because you really miss it, what happens pre-lunch. Of course, post-lunch is on live, you can be part of it, but pre-lunch is the major activities happening, which can't be given live. It is because more of experiential learning. So I suggest, please come, join these people and enjoy your life. By saying this, I wish you all a very, very successful life next 2 years in the campus, even post it. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. Now, I would like to call upon Sunetra, second year MBA, to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Ashish Mishra.
Thank you, Abhilasha. Good morning, all. It's an honor and privilege to introduce our chief guest for the occasion, Mr. Ashish Mishra, Specialist Sustainable Forest Management Founder and Managing Director, Vikalp Ahead Renewables Private Limited. Mr. Ashish Mishra is an entrepreneur, domain specialist, and professional with almost 3 decades of experience in sustainable forest management, natural resource management, industrial food and biomass supply chains, and renewable fuels. A 1995 alumnus from prestigious Indian Institute of Forest Management, Bhopal, Mr. Ashish is widely acclaimed for his contribution to industrial forestry and sustainable forest management. He is the founder and managing director of Vikalp Ahead Renewables Private Limited, a company engaged in producing innovative and cost-effective biomass-based renewable fuels for industry applications and an emerging leader in the sector. In an illustrious career, Mr. Ashish served for almost 2 decades at senior management positions in Aditya Birla Group as functional head, wood resource management, handling entire gamut of sustainable wood sourcing, including procurement, wood resource development, farm forestry, FSC COC accreditations, clonal R&D, and wood supply chain. Later, he served at WWF India as Director, Sustainable Forest Management and Country Head, GFTN, handling the entire gamut of sustainable forest management, including aspects of sustainable wood sourcing strategies, FSC, PEFC, EU forest strategy, global forest trade networks, while influencing industry and policy at various levels for sustainable development. Mr. Ashish has also contributed as think tank, lead auditor, and specialist for industry-oriented sustainable forest management at policy platforms of Government of India, while advising and mentoring wood-based industry on long-term sustainable wood sourcing for the ongoing and new venture. A dynamic leader, innovator, people's man, deft mentor, and new age entrepreneur, Mr. Ashish's strengths originate from his rich and versatile experience in techno-commercial, social and environmental aspects of sustainable forest management, sustainable wood and biomass sourcing, management of TOFS, and agroforestry, clonal technology, credible certifications, and biomass value chain. In his quest for excellence and knowledge, he continues to tread uncharted paths through his uncanny knack of innovation and logical approach and out-of-the-box thinking. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Ashish Mishra. I now request you to please address the crowd.
A very good morning to all of you. Respected Principal Dr. Vishnadaya, the honorable members of the faculty, deans, chairperson, academic, and dear students, this is a great occasion and an honor for me to stand in front of you and speak a few words in a very informal way. I'm no good speaker in terms of giving you long lists of what should be and how your life should be shaped. But I'm somebody who talks and interacts with people in terms of what is required and how things can be improved upon. You've heard so much about me, what it's been talked about me. Well, All that is bullshit. Just keep it aside. Wood, sustainability, and other things, those are something which are completely different gamut altogether. It is by my choice that I have taken my choice of career in sectoral management. As like you, I was also an aspirant of MBA once upon a time. And during those days, our evaluations, I'm talking about 1991, 92, 93. During those days, our evaluations of emerging careers used to be quite different than it is today. So that was one of the facts which prompted me to go in for a career in a very sectoral specific forest management cadre. So I'll come to that and the related aspects of that in due course. But there are a few things I would like to point upon them. This is a great occasion today. Let me first see how many of you are the students of 21-23 batch of New Journeys MBA. Can I have the hands raised? Okay, there are quite a few. So we are barring few faculty sitting here. I think most of you are the fresh batch and a few of you appear to be senior batch people. So great. I would like to point upon a few things which in my prior interaction with your principal, we were just discussing in his chamber that what we as professionals and people who have our feet deep into the soil in the corporate culture, we should be able to tell you in terms of how your life should be shaped in the next 2 years so that you come out as a gem when you actually enter the corporate world. So I have a few things for you, which I would like to point out today. I would be talking a few things about what needs to be incorporated in your mind, which can shape your thinking and approach accordingly for you to become a successful professional in corporate ladder. Now, most of this is a very fortunate batch. I think we are having this batch where we have most of you are millennials. Well, you know what millennials are, people who are born in this particular century. So this generation of millennials has a very different way of thinking, very different way of approaching towards the problems and the key things in hand. So one thing which I have observed is that you are standing at a point when the entire economy, the business, the global way of conducting businesses is undergoing change. Change in such a fast pace that it is very difficult for any person who has set up his own thought process in a particular way to cope up with this kind of change. I'm talking about people like us who are shaped in a particular way and fashion, and it's very difficult for us to shape ourselves with the changing style of management, with the change in technology, with the change in gadgets, with the change in approach, processes, and thinking. This is where you people have a great advantage. Now, the graduates of these times, I'm 21 to 23 onwards, people who are of the same age approximately, they are people who will witness the changes so very frequently and often what we have seen in the last 10 years. I remember when I was a kid, the only communication source we had in the family was a 3 feet big radio, which used to play the news twice a day. And that was the only communication we had with the outer world, apart from a few neighbors here and there and a few newspapers coming in. Gradually from there on, how the technology has grown and how we have got acquainted to various other information sources, and then the IT revolution, and then before that, the globalization and liberalization of Indian economy. There's so many things which hit us hard. We were practically not prepared for those things. But then we adapted to these things. We adapted. People who had the practice of writing letters from hand on postcards and inland letters to their parents and siblings adapted to writing emails and have taken the gadgets in their hand, and today touchscreen phones and smartphones and doing WhatsApp messaging to their own family members. Now this we have faced as a generation, but for your generation, this comes granted. It comes as something which is part of you today. Now, once you have gained adolescence, having a smartphone with you is nothing big deal. And from here on, it is going on to change. In times to come, you will see radical changes in the technology. You will see huge game-changing innovations in various things which are going to hit your life and the businesses and the economies. So your generation is poised to see those kind of changes which are actually happening on the vistas now. We at this middle age level have lived our life to a great extent, and we just have to cope up with these things. But you, as the millennial generation, has to shape up these things, the changes which we need to know. Now, the coming times are going to be quite different. So I would say the next 50 years are going to be very different from the past 50 years. And everybody knows that why. Because in the past 50 years, the entire global population or the economies or the businesses were focusing on excellence, mass production, on scaling up things, on economies, on economies of scale, bringing down the cost of any product or services, productivity of people, etc., etc. But the next 50 years are going to be completely different in terms of the change in the technology or the disruption or the new product and services which come into the market. So far we have seen suddenly everything, we have these brick and mortar stores where we go and buy our groceries, and then one fine day, a company called Flipkart comes in India on the model of Amazon, which was there. And then everybody starts thinking differently. And then certain businesses become redundant. We have these keypad or these feature phones, which everybody was operating. And suddenly one fine day, Apple comes out with a model in which the palm actions are actually shaping the instructions to your phone. The zooming in and all that facilities are there. The touchscreen component comes in. That changes the market. That changes the entire thinking. This is how the things are. So, but this was happening at a slower pace. There used to be 1 year, 2 years of development, which was going behind the technology and the products. And then a product was coming to the market. And then the older products were becoming redundant. The digital camera came into the market, which rendered Kodak type of huge, gigantic company useless. But it took time. It didn't happen overnight. But now in the next 50 years, this is going to happen overnight. At sunrise, if you have a technology, you can very well expect that by sunset, you will have another better technology, and the technology developed at the sunrise is not going to be valid anymore. So you have a very important work and thinking in terms of how you have to shape yourself up for that change which is coming now. It is a super fast train which you have to board, ride, and make others ride it as passengers and drivers. So you as managers who are now entering your curriculum and pass out in another 2 years will have a huge job in front of you, because organizations, while hiring you in 2023, will expect that from you. They would say, yes, I am paying you a CTC of 15 lakhs or 20 lakhs or whatever, but you have to drive the change in the organization. Because organizations 2 years or 5 years or 10 years later are going to thrive only on innovation, only on how a new thing can come in the market. So this is how it is to be. I'll give you a very small example. I mean, this again relates to the olden times, but how things will change, how things can change. The world was operating during the early, right from 12th century, 8th century onwards in a typical style. The knowledge was being passed on from father to son, from guru to shishya in a typical old-fashioned Gurukul system. Then in 1440, a gentleman called Johannes Gutenberg, he invented printing press. Before that, the books used to be handwritten. Handwritten means what? I write a book and I pass on to my kid, and he passes on to his kids. So there is no mass production of the books. So the knowledge is limited to one generation stream. It is not getting mass propagated. So with the printing press getting invented in 1440, everything changed in the world. It started jacking up so much of knowledge. People started getting books in their hand. People started getting knowledge. The land system, the ownership system, the industrial revolution system, it triggered everything which happened later on in the world. Every damn thing happened because of that. The industrial revolution followed that. because knowledge was getting dissipated. The lands and the ceilings were getting dissipated. People started traveling to different countries and establishing businesses and tradings. All these things started happening. So this, I say, is the real disruption, which disrupts the entire economy and the socio-economic structure, the web of the entire global population, and brings something completely new to the world. A similar innovation has happened when the first computer was made in the world. That computer, which was made as a huge machine initially, thanks to people like Microsoft and companies like Microsoft and Apple, who invested a lot of time in the initial phases for doing that, IBMs and such companies. So once the computing came into picture, it has completely changed the way we think. And people who missed the train then will repent throughout their life. Now, would you believe the real element of computing was first invented by somebody in a company called Xerox? There was a company called Xerox. In that, a set of scientists, R&D people, first invented and actually wrote down the coding of the first computing which could have ever happened on humankind. Now, incidentally, Xerox has its history. The directors of Xerox told that, okay, this is none of our business. We are into the copying business. We are into a different segment altogether. Ye hamara kaam nahi hai. Give it to somebody who is good at that. So that was passed on to a few people who later on went on to form Microsoft, who later on went on to become Apple. And that's how the computing started. So what computers are today, had Xerox given the emphasis on computing at that point of time, it would have become the largest. You have known Yahoo. Today, where is Yahoo? Big zero. When I started my emailing career, I would call it career because that was the first acquaintance I came across email. My first email ID was in Yahoo because it used to rule the world. Now, where is Yahoo today? Now, this Yahoo had a deal to buy Google at one point of time. But very happily, Yahoo was hell-bent on a price which Google was not agreeing to. So the deal never happened. This I am talking about 2002 or 2006, if I'm not wrong. 10 years later, the same company, even after offering 20 times the price which Yahoo was offering it, Google is 20 times the valuation of what the price they were asking, they were offering. So this is the hard luck if you miss the bus. So as an organization, you will have pressure from your top management to deliver. You will have pressure to make sure that you continuously innovate. And I was just relating to what Swarnika ma'am was telling, holistic, yes, and socially responsibility. That is given now. Nobody can operate a business without being socially responsible. You're part and parcel of the society. Triple bottom line has to be there. That's the theme now. The most important thing for you, what matters is continuous employability, which I feel has to come from the approach of innovation. Now, what does an MBA do to you? Kya sikha dega aapko? You are graduates already. Some of you are engineers, some of you are BCom, some of you must have had some work experience also. So what does this 2 years ka special course of MBA will put in you, which others will not teach you, or what will it add in you? My dear friends, forget marketing, forget HR, forget quantitative techniques, forget strategic management, forget any subject what you get here. The only fact which you have to build here in 2 years is a way of thinking, a logical approach, a problem-solving skill, because you will have n number of problems coming and standing on your desk every day once you go into the corporate culture, and the way you handle it, that is going to decide whether you are successful or a failure. So this MBA program will shape you, will train you to think in a particular manner. It will tell you how to think when a problem comes. There is a way to approach it. There is a process to approach it. So any marketing or any HR or any strategic management or any other thing is not going to teach you what exactly is to be done on day-to-day basis. It will develop an approach. And this is my own experience, which I have seen. So these 2 years you have to spend in such a manner that you innovate. Now, why do we don't innovate? I mean, what stops you from innovation, and how does innovation get born? Now, our Indian education system is such that I'm being very free and frank here, very informal here. Our Indian education system is that exam pass karna hai. Exam pass karna hai. Exam में इतना marks आया तो you are good, exam में इतना marks नहीं आया तो बुरा. वो सुना है ना गाना, 99% आया तो घड़ी नहीं तो छड़ी. So this is the fact. So we are trained, attuned to work for a result through our exams, right from beginning. बेटा फर्स्ट आना है, इतना सा बच्चा है, बेटा टॉप में आना है क्लास में. So these are the aspects which are built in the Indian education system. So ultimately what happens? You read, you memorize, you do rote learning to go and reproduce on the exam paper, your answer sheet. But you stop asking questions at some stages. And when you stop asking questions, that's the death of innovation. Now I am giving you a situation. You go for trekking alone. I am a forest man. You go for train. I've handled this situation on n number of occasions, being chased by wild animals, being chased by staying in haunted bungalows, etc., etc. So many things. Now you are in a forest. You went for a trekking and you lost your way. Would you have a written answer? Where would I find my way? What you would have with you is this. That मैं दिमाग लगाता हूं, there has to be a way. Let me find out. You will climb the tallest tree to see if I can look at the farthest distance. You will search for the signs you have come across while entering that forest. You will do something to make sure that you survive at least 2 nights, 3 nights. You will collect the fruits or whatever berries you find in that forest. You will equip yourself with whatever little tools you get, stones, sharp things here and there, etc., etc. Now, what are you doing here? Nobody has taught you this. You are applying your mind. So that's exactly is required in life. Because every day once you enter in the corporate culture, corporate ladder, you will be lost like you do in forest. Every day you will have to think through your own logical approach, how I have to get across this bridge. Nobody, no rule, no curriculum, no faculty, nobody is going to teach you that abhi ye problem aaya to iska ye solution hai. No. They will equip you with tools. They will equip you with various methodologies, processes, which will make your thinking faster. This is all about an MBA program. So my request to all of you is that spend these 2 years you have in hand on a way that you acquire knowledge, but at the same time you acquire a skill of thinking, which ultimately pays. Now in my career, as I told you, I joined a sectoral institute. And when I joined this institute in 1993, this institution, Indian Institute of Forest Management, was just 6 years old. We did not know whether we'll land up a job or not. We were told 100% placement. But where? Once I went to the institute, we found that there are only 20 batch members in each batch. Those 20 people should not have been much difficult. It was not a huge crowd, but it was a sectoral institute which was still not recognized by many, many corporates, many Indian companies. So ultimately what was happening during the placement season, the organizations were approached by the placement committee. And most of the time they ended up bringing some NGOs who would pay you peanuts, not even peanuts. And you were expected to put a kurta, put a jhola, rubber chappals and move around in the field. This was the situation when I joined that institution. But over a period of time, by the work of alumni, by the work of pass outs, more organizations started. Ours were the first batch when we could actually win over Aditya Birla Group to come to the campus and do a huge recruit. Institution for the first time. Was it not my responsibility to prove a bloody point to Aditya Birla Group that you have not made a mistake? That is the reason I decided that I will stay in this organization. I will render my best. I will make sure that I bring the required change I want to. And I stuck there in my campus job for 18 long years. starting my journey as a management trainee in that organization, I went on to become the head of forestry of the entire global operations of Aditya Birla Group. I was responsible for units in Karnataka, Indonesia, Thailand, your acquisitions in Canada, Europe, and so many places. So forestry, it finally concluded that forestry and wood supply chain management, if anything has to be answered, there is only one person in the group, Mr. Rajesh Mishra answer. So what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to beat any drums here. I'm just giving an example to you that once you pass out from this institution, you have the onus to carry the flag of the institution in your hands. You wear the badge of your institution. Whatever you do in your organization after placements, it will be your institution which will be identified through you. Your personality, your individual skills will come later, but your institution will first be known, first be recognized there or be recognized there. So good things, a share of it will come to the institution also. Bad thing, the institution will also see the fall. And that will have a repercussion on the coming batches. So it is very important for you to understand what are your expectations from you. So if you have a mindset, ki main badlunga nahi, I will not change, I am rigid on these things, well, my dear, you are heading for big trouble. You have to learn to adapt. You have to learn to change. You have to make yourself very adaptable for sunset. So this is my take. I would not like to give you a lot of other things, other details, because you will get to know a lot of details about innovation and various other technical things. My only thing is that I believe very strongly, very, very strongly. I come from a very middle class family. We've seen very bad times in our childhood. But I firmly believe that every one of us who's born in this world carries a superpower inside. A superpower. It is our problem if we are not able to realize what is that superpower and use it. It's up to you to find out what is your superpower. It is up to you to find out that how I'm going to use this superpower to my own benefit and the benefit of society and nation. So please, my dear friends, we have 2 years of enough time to go and explore what's your superpower. And I would wish to see all of you using that superpower and changing this world for the great things in future. Very much.
Thank you, sir, for your influential message. We are honored to be addressed by you. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. I request our principal to express our gratitude to Mr. Ashish Mishra by presenting with a small token of gratitude. Every celebration is an experience. The external fades away and the internal lingers and echoes in the most depth of our hearts. We are reminded that events like this one are a milestone of journey of life. As we come to the end of our induction ceremony, I'd like to Professor James Thomas, Chairperson Commerce, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to one and all. Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais and budding MBA batch of 2021-23. I am reminded of a story. Once a group of 50 people was attending a seminar. Suddenly the speaker stopped and started to give each one a balloon to write his or her name on it. Then all these balloons were collected and put in a room. Now these participants were let in that room and asked to find the balloon, their name in 5 minutes. Everyone was searching for their names, pushing around, and there was utter chaos. At the end of 5 minutes, no one could find their balloons, Now, each one were asked randomly collect their balloons. Within minutes, everyone had their balloons. Happening in our lives. Everyone is looking for happiness all around. Our happiness lies in the happiness of other people. Give them their happiness, you will get your happiness. So as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter a word. This quote is given by John F. Kennedy. So I would like to thank our chief guest of the day, Mr. Ashish Mishra, founder and managing director, Vikalp Ahead Renewable Private Limited, who's honored this function with his inspirational thoughts and taught us what is 50 years behind his head. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to thank our principal, Dr. Vishwanath Iyer, for his leadership, wisdom, commitment, and gracing these occasions. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank management for giving a right logical support. And I would like to thank admission department for bringing the management leaders to IFIM 2021-23 batch. I would like to thank parents, guardians who have assembled here in this functions. I would also thank professors, non-teaching staff, students, volunteers for making this function a grand success. Thank you all.
The end of a story is the new beginning for many, and we are grateful that you chose your beginning with IFIM. On this note, let us conclude a remarkable, memorable, and knowledgeable induction ceremony. On behalf of the institution, we sincerely thank the dignitaries for being with us this morning and enlightening us with their enthusiastic remarks. I shower my heartfelt gratitude to Professor and everyone from IFIM family for their wholehearted support rendered in the success of this program. I wish all the students of class 23 wonderful learning experience and stay at IFIM. Thank you very much. I would now request all of you to stand up for the national anthem. Students, kindly take your seat.